think like it's more than young people being sort of apathetic. Like even if you look after the expenses scandal, no, not the expenses scandal, my bad. Like after you look at when the Lib Dems tripled tuition fees, like a load of young people turned out to protest. So I think like it's unfair that Wolf Farm is just like not caring. Like, and I think it's unrealistic to expect people to care when voting for a party they just get lied to anyway. So I don't understand how you expect young people to take an interest.
We've also had an interesting tweet on the top, bank robbers versus politician, is there a difference?
Yes, the most obvious difference is we only get 4 years.
Question with the grey jumper there.
I don't mean to be disrespectful, but it's quite hard for young people to speak to politicians because every time they ask a question, the politician always avoids the question and answers around it.
It's kind of happened this evening as well, isn't it?
Yeah, we never get a straight answer. So,
well, you can't just tarnish us all with the same brush then, because for me, I answer things directly. People who know what I do, I don't sort of, and I can't speak for everybody on this panel, but you know, I've made myself very popular with people in my own party as well for just saying this is what I campaign on. I vote against this because I don't agree with it, such as tuition fees. I opposed it rising to £3,000 in Wales because I didn't agree we should be paying it. That's what I stood on as a campaigner. You know, I think you've got to be true to yourself, and some politicians start out like that, you know, but then they lose it when they're older, you know. But I think if you just put us all in that category, then you might not get involved because you actually, you know, don't give us the time of day as well, you know. I think it's a two-way thing, really. If you want respect, give us respect back as well.
We've got a question from a young lady in the front there. I think it's Lauren, yeah? Yeah, Lauren, if we can get Lauren's question.
you keep saying that you want us to get more involved with politics and that you want us to be more aware of it. But how can we when we have politicians calling us disrespectful, who loiter and just constantly cause disruption and just drink and just do everything that the law tells us not to do? It's hard because you're like, it's hypocritical. There are some people who are like that, but there are others who want to aim high, you know, get themselves in a good place and a good career. But how can we when you're saying that we're not that good?
Alan Jones, I can see you get to answer this.
I completely agree. I think the thing is, in this kind of image, in the media, in these sort of powerful sort of spheres, that there are young people who spend most of their time, you know, on the streets, in parks, drinking White Lightning.
Yeah.
And that is not a representative look at young people. And the fact is that if you look at the maturity of society, let's look at the bankers who invested in subprime CDOs and then made the taxpayer pay them out. Just look at the media who hacked the phones of victims of crime. And I think the problem is that when politicians say, you know, yes, do this, do that, they need to lead by example as well. And I think that's what needs to be done. And perhaps then, when you see politicians with passion and principle, which I believe we are actually seeing, particularly in the Welsh Assembly, I will say that. I feel that when we see those people with passion and principle, I think when you see that, we will start to see people being more into politics.
But that was a really good point actually, because when you think back to the England riots this year, everybody was tarnished on the news as young people, people rioting, and it wasn't necessarily young people. You didn't need, you know, the best eyesight in the world to see that a lot of them weren't young. Do you know what I mean? So a very valid point. We're going to move